Oh, hey y'all, how's it going? Fatty here, and today I am bringing you the top 5 underwater base locations on Ark. This is all being inspired by hashtag teamseas put on by Mr. Beast and Mark Roberg. They are planning on getting 30 million pounds of trash out by raising $30 million. So for every dollar you donate, they are going to take a pound of trash out of the ocean. And for the month that this runs, this is going to come up on the 1st of November. And by the end of November, however much ad revenue I get from this video, I will also be donating to Team C. So also help us out and help reach our goal. And let's just continue with the video. Coming in at number 5, this one's going to be located at 42.5, 68.1, and this is also going to be on Genesis 2. So for all these, they're only going to be one per map. I just kind of wanted to spread it out and have some fun with it. So this one is going to be located in the bottom part, like the underwater area of Genesis 2, where you actually have to go through the tunnels to kind of get down here. But this is by far my favorite Gen 2 spot, not just favorite ocean spot, by far the best Gen 2 spot. There's so much space in this area that it is kind of unbelievable. Not just for the aesthetics, right? If you were a PvE player even, this might be a great spot for you to build just because it's so nice looking and there's already so much just like pre-built in. But for PvP players, there's just so much space in here, and there are 2 entrances, which is usually a deal breaker. But because both of these entrances are just breaches where they have to come straight up out of water, kind of like in North Ice on Center, it really makes it so really difficult to raid, almost unraidable, because you can put stuff on either side. So if they try to come up with like a stego or anything like that, the rider's always going to be visible by tech turrets, and you're on Genesis 2. So filling tech turrets to cap them out is like really easy. I mean, Striders just make that just ridiculously easy. There's room back here to spawn breeder or to breed water dinosaurs or anything like that. And I've even seen people put some underwater pods up in this area too, just to kind of increase the space, use it for breeding and stuff like that. So it is just, it's insane how much space you get for such a small package and how hard it makes it to raid it. That's why it gets number 5 on this list. Coming in at number 4, this one's going to be on Genesis 1 at 19.5, 49.1, or 49.0, because that's what my GPS said. I don't know why I have to do different chords there, but anyways, we are continuing on with the video. This one does have 2 entrances, but that's not the point of this one. This one is really meant to be hidden. One, when I've built in this base on several locations, on like different servers, whatever, and it's been always a great one, and I still get lost trying to find it. It is one of the harder ones to find. Now, you do have those 2 entrances, which is always kind of a pain, but you don't build in this one because you're going to lock down the whole airlock. Usually you're building in here because it's a little bit hidden. So from this rock, you come up here, and this whole ledge is really big. It kind of seems a little bit more intense with how much stuff is there, but when you build this right, you can build, or you can breed with stegos, carbs, a bunch of different stuff here, and have a full crafting area, like a full base up here, and then you can put a little turret wall up there, so for people to raid it, makes it incredibly difficult. Then you come back here, if you get that locked down, you can breed in that little back corner. There's all this underwater right here to breed in as well. Then back here, if you put another little turret wall back here, a huge another area just to breed. I mean, it has a pretty good vertical size to it as well, how long it is. Then you're just keeping your base a little bit spread out, so you're not really hitting too many turrets in one area, so you can really just expand and expand. And then as you come up here again, this is where we kind of first started, there's just so much room. So there is this biggest door or opening right here, and this is what you really have to kind of think about locking down once you've expanded out to those 2 areas, because people can get up top here, and if they put a fob up here, it is kind of hard for you to kind of get up here to destroy a fob. It's not the hardest thing in the world or anything like that. There are some really good areas and spots up there, so you do have to kind of lock that down as well, or just be prepared. If people do fob, you got to stop them from getting up in that area. Coming in at number 3, this one's going to be located at 15.5, 22.1, and this is going to be located on the Ragnarok map. Now, if you kind of spawned anywhere near Blue Ob, you've seen that kind of rock structure before. I always like to spawn with some of these ones that are closer to the shore where they are, so people can kind of know where to swim out for and scout. Because when I join a server, right, I usually don't have anything unless I have an ichthy to go scout, besides just kind of swimming out there. And I usually just do it naked just to see, right, if they're turrets or not. And this is one of those ones that are great. You can swim from the shore. Don't plan on surviving, right? Because you're going to get out there and you're probably going to run out of stamina or oxygen as well, one of the 2 if you don't have enough. But you're just going to kind of keep going down to the very bottom here, and you're going to see all these different kinds of seaweed that really stick up and just kind of block your line of sight a ton. Definitely get an eye if you're on PC if you don't want to have to deal with that. But as you can see, this entrance is just really massive, and that is just the one downside I have to this cave. But when you come inside, it is really gorgeous. It is one of my favorite ones. It's called Mushroom Cave because obviously all the mushrooms here, but it's just really flat all around, which makes it nice. It makes it really easy to kind of get one continuous base kind of going around. You can cover up some of these water areas a little bit so you can kind of get a more flat, full around base. You just have to be really cautious. You got to think about how you would raid this. So when you're putting up a turret wall on the inside and stuff like that, you just really want to think about, okay, if I was trying to get in here, how would I sneak around something if I put it here? And yeah, you'll kind of get it. You'll have to play around with it once. I've based here a few times, and it is a pretty solid base. One time I did put my wall way too close to the entrance here, or like once you're inside the cave, and that was kind of a mistake because once they did, they kind of just swam past it really fast. I would personally recommend putting your first like wall or set of external turrets right at about where I'm at now, close to the edge, not over the edge so they can't like tech rifle anything from above if they get just a line of sight on it, but further enough back that you're not going to interfere with any turrets as you want to put as internals, because you could always put a second internal wall, as well as some chandeliers. Chandeliers are never a bad idea for a spot kind of like this. You just have to make sure you're actually protecting stuff that's worth protecting if you're going to put a chandelier up. And let's continue with the rest of these spots. Coming in at number 2, this one's going to be located at 79.6, 36.1 on the island. And again, there's a shoreline from where you want to swim out. And when you do, you're just kind of looking for this rock bridge that kind of comes across. And when you do, you're going to start seeing all these oil. And then when you get a little bit closer, you'll kind of see this underwater shimmery kind of image and all those bubbles. That's always how you find pearl caves on the island. There are a ton of these things, but this one by far is the best one. This is really the only pearl cave I'll actually build in if I build in a pearl cave. The other ones are a little bit more tricky and just not as well defendable. Now, as you can see, there's a ton of pearls in here, but as soon as you build, those are going to go away. But that's what gets it the name, the pearl cave. Now from here, I usually put my wall right about here. That way they kind of have to start to try to breach before they can really soak, so they can't get anything down in there and just kind of soak and get it back out. They really have to kind of go for a play if they want to like soak anything or really take anything down. And then when I first get started, I usually come up to this little ledge that's up here, and this is a great first place to put a generator because it's not really easily seen or anything like that. And then kind of down below, you can easily put a foundation with a hatch frame on it. That's going to give you a lot of really good coverage, especially being a little higher up. So as people are starting to peek, you know, you're going to get them before they can even, you know, try to throw a cryopod or anything up here. Just makes it really, really defendable. And that's kind of what locks this one down in the number 2 spot on this list, is just because of how well it is to defend. And plus, there's a lot of good easy resources in the beginning. If you can get out here and lock it down before you really expand with too many turrets, you can get silica pearls, oil, and those are some of the harder ones to get on the island. Coming in at number 1, this one's going to be located at 16.3, 74.0. Now, this one's going to be located on Crystal Isles. Now, if you've been on my channel for any amount of time, this one's by far my favorite base location that I've ever built in. It is 100% the most defendable base spot there is on almost any arc, I would argue, for like a smaller tribe, right? It's not a mega tribe spot, but it is just so nice. You can't get anything in this entrance that's smaller than a carb, right? Carbs are going to be able to get in here, but if you try to come up here with like a Baleosaur or a Stego or anything like that, it is just not going to be able to fit through that entrance. So here in a second, I'll show you exactly where you need to put your wall, but if you do, they won't be able to soak with any of those things out there, so they're only going to be able to whistle in carbs, and that's just going to take just hours and hours and hours to soak. So even if you have a huge offline timer as a tribe, there's no way they're going to get here. Now, right where I'm at is usually where I put the vacuum chambers because they can't see you or see anything that you're doing, and you can fit gigas in here. We had at least 5 or 6 gigas that we were breeding, 50 carbs, 30 Dianodocus. We also had some Arthroplura and Mantises up on the top part of it. And it was, I mean, it was a little bit crowded, don't get me wrong, the game lagged. I actually have a clip on my channel intro of that huge base, but it is just amazing. You're able to do so much with that space, and like I said, it is pretty much unraidable if you put your wall in the best location. If you put your wall a little bit too far backwards, you're not going to be able to, or sorry, too far forwards, they're going to be able to soak it really easy with a Baleosaur, and then it's just kind of game over from that, because then it's just a basic wall. So it's really all about how you plan it. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, this one is a Team Seas one, so go check them out. And don't forget, every dollar that you donate takes a pound of trash out of the ocean. They're trying to hit 30 million pounds of trash out of the oceans, which is just totally amazing. So go check that out and donate if you guys can. And don't forget to check out my next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.